Hello there everyone, this is Trooper7272 back again with a huge Battlefront 2 update. We got a brand new behind the scenes single player story trailer today and it is absolutely amazing. So I'm gonna get right to the good stuff and start breaking this trailer down. The trailer opens with a cut to rebel ships attacking what looks like an Imperial base. I believe it's the base we've seen in other videos, but I'm not sure. It looks like it's going to be one of the first single-player levels. We get shots of stormtroopers and Iden rushing to their battle stations, with Iden jumping into a TIE fighter and powering it up in first person. One thing to note is that when the TIE fighter starts up, the Inferno Squad logo can be seen, a nice little detail they put in. I'm guessing that they have modified TIE fighters, seeing as they are special forces. Another thing to note is that this really makes the rebels look like the bad guys. A brutal attack catching the Empire off guard and overwhelming them. I absolutely love it. This looks absolutely incredible, and the build-up with the music in these few shots is awesome. Then we get Mark Thompson, the game director at Motive, saying, "I've always been a fan of the dark side." He then goes into the background of the story, touching on how fans don't really see how the Empire works and functions behind the scenes, something this game will obviously delve into. We get some more background from other significant figures involved with the game, such as Steve Blank and Orion Kellogg, calling the story essential and capturing what the galaxy feels like after Return of the Jedi from an Imperial point of view. We get a shot of the space station here, and it looks like it's above a very Coruscant-esque planet that may be Vardos, but I'm not quite sure. It also reminds me of the shield gate above Scarif, but with hangars instead of a shield. We also get to see a very impressive gameplay shot where Iden's droid shocks a rebel soldier inside a Tana V4-like hallway. One thing to really note here is the star cards Iden seems to possess. She has her droid shock, and then a thermal detonator and what looks like to be a thermal imploder, yet we haven't seen what the card looks like in this game yet, so it's unclear whether it is or not. Another thing I noticed is the open hallway to the left, which looks like it could hold a secret item or something. I'm wondering if there will be collectibles in this campaign that are needed to find around the maps of levels. Personally, I'm hoping there won't be because it'll take away from the game experience if you're trying to find collectibles all the time. Here Janina gives some background to Inferno Squad, referring to them as a Black Ops team that most people don't even know exist. We get some overview about the world they get thrust into with the destruction of the Death Star 2 and no Emperor, and how they must make the choices to continue on to what they will become in a changing galaxy. We also get some very nice concept art of the aftermath of the battle on and above Endor. We also hear the Empire referred to as possible underdogs, a perspective that I love on them since we only ever see them as a symbol of utter power. Here we get some overview on Iden's role and how she grew up on Vardos, attending a military camp for children, fitting into the current canon with children put into programs like in the Rebels episode, Breaking Ranks. It also talks about her living up to the moment and becoming commander of Inferno Squad. This raised my eyebrow and I'll get into that a little later. We also get to know two more other members of Inferno Squad, Hask and Del. Hask being described as zealous and very spirited for the Empire, and Del being described as humorous. Hask was an orphan and Del grew up on Coruscant during the time of the Jedi, which may give him an interesting dynamic and view on conflicts. Then we get into the family theme which most Star Wars content has. We learn about how Iden is elevated to a position by her father. This is what I wanted to get into earlier. Is this position the commander of Inferno Squad, since it was referred to earlier when they spoke about her becoming the commander? Is she not already? I personally thought she was, but this must be where she is promoted, giving her drive to live up to her father's expectations for her. When the actor who plays Iden's father talks about Admiral Versio, he speaks about how he needs Iden to understand why he is going to do something. I wonder what that thing could be. Is he going to do something drastic to try to turn the tables on the rebels? We'll have to wait to find out. We see some old gameplay that we've seen before after this, yet I noticed something interesting. There's no thermal imploder in the spot it was from the gameplay earlier in the trailer. The thermal detonator and shock are still present, however. Is this going to be an attainable item like the last game? Or is Aiden going to have her own set of interchangeable star cards that are customizable, and the person playing doesn't have the imploder picked? I personally hope it's the latter, since I think that would add a great dynamic to the single-player campaign. We then get a shot of new concept art of a planet with water and possibly coral or rocks. It has Luke in an X-Wing on the ground. I think it may be the same location that we saw photographers taking pictures of in previous content. We also get one new shot of gameplay with Aiden in front of what seems like power generators. Based on what we've seen, I'm thinking we may see her infiltrate a rebel ship and sabotage it from the inside, which I think would be amazing. We are also informed on how the Battlefront 2 story helps influence future projects. Hopefully this means new story-driven games like Visceral's upcoming game, which we don't know much about. That's about it for this trailer. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys did too. If you spotted anything interesting that I missed or have feedback, leave it in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and may the Force be with you.